Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at some r/Am I the Devil? Bit worse than Am I the Bottle, because normally these people are always in the wrong, but Reddit sometimes gets it wrong, so we will be the judge of that, shall we? If that sounds like something you'd be into listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you. Okay, we're kicking it off strong today already. My toxic ex, F32, is back, but I'm M35, married. Am I insane? 10 years ago, I was engaged to a girl from another country. It was a long-distance relationship, and honestly, she was pretty toxic, but I guess it's normal when a girl is beautiful and young. Okay, no, it's not. The only thing that made up for it was the best S of my life. I always felt to have a special bond with her, but not sure why. So yeah, what you're describing there, my friend, is lust and not love. Just gonna put it out there, Just a bit of young lust that you're mistaking for love and meaningful connection. Right after I graduated, she told me that I should move to her country. Her dad was an entrepreneur and would give me a job in his companies. We'd even get a house and get married. I wasn't on board because I wanted to build my own future. I told her that I'd find a job in my country and she could join me, especially since she'd always wanted to live here and her initial proposal was actually her father's idea. After my refusal, she abruptly broke up with me. A few months later, she married another guy. I was devastated, but tried to forget her and move on, even though it was incredibly difficult. So yeah, okay, so surely you would never want to have anything to do with that person again? I know I wouldn't personally. I don't know about you guys. 5 years pass and I get married. My ex finds out and contacts me saying that she's always loved me and that her marriage only lasted 3 months before she filed for divorce. What a shock. Because she didn't want to get married but was brainwashed by her father. Her father has since passed away. I told her I'd moved on with my life. She accepted my decision but said that she'd wait for me forever because we were soulmates and she was convinced we'd end up together eventually. Okay. 4 more years go by, during which I kept in touch with my ex just as friends. So you're married. Someone comes along from your past who you had an sexual past with and tells you that they still love you, they still have all these feelings for you, and that they believe that you will eventually end up together. And you think, sounds like a good mate, that. Excuse me? How disrespectful to your marriage. Then, problems started with my wife. She began treating me poorly, ignoring me, and acting like I was just a roommate instead of her husband. Could it be because you are giving your ex all this attention? Could it be that your wife isn't dumb and has sensed what's going on, I confided in my ex, and she was incredibly understanding. I started to think that maybe she was the person I should have married, and I told her so. From that moment, everything changed. After my confession, she insisted I divorce my wife to be with her. Which brings me to today. I've been talking to my ex daily for a year now, and he wonders why his wife has lost interest. Oh my goodness. My relationship with my wife has partially healed, but it still feels like a dead end. I love my wife very much, and despite everything, I don't think I could live without her. I'd feel incredibly guilty leaving her. Meanwhile, my ex has started to act provocatively, sending me nudes, trying to seduce me in every way. Then, she'll suddenly switch attitudes and insult me, calling me weak for not divorcing my wife faster to marry her. I refuse to believe anyone could be this stupid. You're telling me you don't understand why everything's falling apart in different directions. The minute someone starts disrespecting your marriage, even if they were a friend, and starts overstepping boundaries like that, you should be cutting off that friendship. You are asking for a world of trouble and acting like you have no idea what's going on. So you are either thick as pig shit or just an asshole. My head is a complete mess. I think I love my wife, but I'm incredibly attracted to my ex, like an obsession. Maybe because of how things ended 10 years ago and I can't get it out of my head. I believe divorcing and being with my ex would be a mistake, but at the same time, I feel compelled to do it, or else I'll never get over this obsession with wanting her. Oh my goodness, do your wife a favour and leave. Like, she can do so much better than some dude who's like obsessing over who he says is a crazy toxic ex who clearly only wants him because someone else has got him. And I believe that as soon as he leaves his wife and she has him for a little bit, this ex, she'll want out do with him. She'll drop him like a moldy sack of spuds, you know? So, I mean, yeah, crack on, mate. Go and do what you will, because your wife will end up being the one who's better off in the end, and I think she deserves better. Next post. Am I the butthole for buying my kids snacks with my boyfriend's credit card? This morning I had an errand to run. When I told my boyfriend where I was going, he asked if it was the place by the grocery store. He gave me his debit card and said to get some turkey breast lunch meat, the only thing he really eats anymore, and some other things. My son, 7, overheard and asked if he could come. So did my daughter, 8. My son asked if he could get some potato chips. My boyfriend just shrugged and said, sure, why not? My daughter asked if she could also get a snack too, and he agreed. Now, after the first errand, they started to get bored, and when I got them to the store, they were going crazy. They were putting stuff like cookies and snack cakes in my buggy. I tried telling them no, but they didn't listen. We got to the potato chip aisle, and my son just started picking up all kinds of different bags. Plus, they started arguing in the store about who would get to eat one of the things that they got. She tried snatching it away from my son's hands. She almost knocked me over. They kept running off. Keep in mind, I didn't have a list or anything, so I forgot. Plus, they were so bad that I just wanted to get out of the store, so I paid for my stuff and we got in the car. Halfway back to my house, it hit me that I forgot the turkey. I had to deal with 2 screaming kids shouting, "Shut up, dummy," back and forth, so I just said forget it and went home. As we were loading the groceries in the house, my kids and I, he comes out and he doesn't lift a finger to help carry in. He just asks why there are so many bags. Yeah, because you used his card. He's probably thinking, this cheeky mare has gone and spent a ton on my card. I just explained that I got them some snacks for school. He just sighed. When we finally got everything in, he doesn't help put stuff up either. Instead, he starts pouring through the bags for his turkey. He asked where it was, and I explained. He just shouted, "What?" and started complaining. Then he found the receipt and had a meltdown about it. $35 on junk food. What the hell were you thinking? I told him. He said that they could get something. Mate, when he said they could get something, he meant like a bag of crisps, a packet of sweets, not half the shop. I thought you were just going to get 1 bag of potato chips, not all this junk. I can't afford this. Then he threw his diabetes in my face again. Oh, so it isn't that he's just like fussy and it's the only thing he'll eat. It's probably one of the only things he feels safe eating, and it doesn't mess with his blood sugars, the turkey, and you couldn't even remember that. As if I don't hear that enough. Well, yeah, because when you have a condition like diabetes, it takes over your whole life. Don't be with someone with a lifelong illness if you can't cope with it. What the hell am I supposed to eat now? I told him to get a frozen pizza. It wouldn't kill him to eat 1 piece. My goodness. Yeah, her boyfriend could do better. Then I brought up how he wastes money on cartoons, DVDs, and Netflix and streaming subscriptions. But I don't want to let my kids starve, and I'm the bad guy. I assume that these kids aren't his. Not his kids, not his responsibility, you know? He just demanded his card back and stormed off into his office. What an entitled mare. Like, honestly, these kind of people are the people that give all single mums a bad name. I hope the boyfriend breaks up with her. So, the OP who reposted this, not the OP who is the original OP, the one who reposted it to Am I the Devil, says, I tried telling them no, but they didn't listen. It's not like the kids had her at weapon point and forced her to get the chips. She should have put them back and not bought them. And she didn't even buy the only thing she was asked to buy. Exactly. It's like, your kids don't need those snacks and cakes. And also, I'm not being funny, but if your kids are throwing a tantrum, the worst thing you can do is reinforce that behaviour by giving them everything they're tantruming after. My life. That right there is a prime example of lazy parenting. Can't be bothered to actually just say no and deal with their kids' tantrum, so they just chuck whatever the kids are asking for at them because they don't want to actually parent. And then TTW81 says, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. Literally. And then Striped Badger says, based on the comments, they're not even his kids. Yeah, exactly. OOP didn't tell him that she had children until he moved in with her. No. Oh, and she's a stay-at-home parent. Right, so he's footing the bill for everything. My goodness. So, not only does she keep eating all of his diabetic food, makes fun of him for being diabetic, the only thing he really eats anymore. Yeah, exactly, that bit rubbed me up the wrong way as well. And can't even be bothered to replace the food they eat. Not only does she spend all of his money on her kids' snacks, she also is the one who is wholly responsible for every part of their attitude. Yeah, bingo. Because they aren't her stepkids. Who her boyfriend is the actual parent for, they are hers. Exactly. Honestly, I can't stand people like that. They're just like, they blame everyone else for their terrible parenting and they act like they are entitled and their kids are entitled to just about everything. Like, give her a few years and she'll be a Karen screaming on like a video that someone's captured and posted. So next post, wife's past is depressing me. Oh God. When I met her, she was very open about her sexual past, and I never judge her. Okay, put a pin in that, Who wants to bet that the OP has said they never judge her and is then going to go on to judge her? Place your bets in the comments below. She had a 2-year open relationship with a woman, and they did all sorts of things, including group activities with friends with benefits of this woman and other men. It never bugged me. In fact, it was kind of a turn on when we talked about it. It was always a fantasy of mine to have S with 2 women at the same time, and when we were dating, it was always discussed that we could do it sometime. But she got pregnant, and it took a long time for her to regain her confidence about her body. Understandable. Having a human parasite within you for 9 months will certainly do a number on you, that's for sure, and your sense of well-being and confidence. I'll say the first 2 years after the birth of our kid, she was very insecure when it came to S. Then she regained her confidence and the S was great again, and I started bringing the subject up again. She then told me to look for somebody on Tinder that was willing to do it. So we did a profile as a couple looking for another female. It got very tiring because most, if not all, of the women on Tinder just wanted to meet with my wife alone. Oh, I bet that stung. See, this is what happens when, if you take the plunge, it's not always going to work out the way you want it to. And she just got bored with it, so I asked her if it was okay if I look up for a girl by myself, and she agreed. I made a profile as myself and what I was looking for, but with pictures of me and my wife. Same thing, but now the women wanted to have S with me alone. I never accepted, but this still peed my wife off, so I kind of gave up on it. Then we had our second kid, and she again was even less happy about her body, and again she had to work on herself about her confidence. It does a number on you, it really does. It does a massive, your body changes in that many ways that you don't recognise yourself for a long time afterwards. And that's really disconcerting feeling. S again is now good, and one time when we were dirty talking during S about sexual fantasies while having S, how many times can you say S? My goodness. I hinted at what we left off. She got very upset, but without telling me why. I feel like this OP hasn't put any effort into actually building their wife's confidence, and instead, in their vulnerable times, has been like, can we add someone else? Imagine how much that's going to kick her while she's down. Finally, she talked and said that she felt comfortable having S with me, but the possibility of having another woman with us is out the window. Because she would feel very insecure about her body and me touching another woman. Bingo! There we go! And we all saw that coming, and that was how she was feeling, but how the OP hasn't seen it, I will never know. We started arguing. I wanted her to know that I still desire her despite the changes after both childbirth. She was getting angry, and so did I, and she said that this is because I don't find her attractive enough, that I want another woman with us. I also got angry and told her that since she did it many times before now, but now doesn't want to do it with me, that I'm just the safe guy, not the exciting guy like the one she'd had before. She chose you, mate. Why are you so insecure? She got even angrier and told me that it's not her fault that I didn't have the chance of doing those things when I was single, but she isn't obligated to do it with me. I stopped the conversation before it got even more hurtful. Complete chaos of your own making. Several days later, I took the initiative to make peace and she agreed, but I still bothered about it. Not so much about the group activities, but the fact that others enjoyed something with my wife and I will not. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I understand that she doesn't feel sexy enough to do those things and I don't want to push her into it, but I just can't get it out of my head. If you get with someone knowing that they've done certain things in their past and you decide to look past that, then you are not allowed to then throw that back in their face later on. You just can't. Like, you've got to either accept it and move on, or go, okay, well, I need to step out of this relationship because actually this isn't working for me. But you can't hold their past from before they ever knew you existed above their head. That's very wrong. Like, I've had it before now where I've had like exes say, how many people have you had before me? And I refuse to engage in those conversations because none of your business. That was my thing, my private past, whatever. I find it really weird to ask those questions. Obviously, you should feel that comfortable in your relationship that those discussions aren't taboo. But you just know when someone asks that, they're going to throw it back in your face. And let me tell you, anytime I've answered, it has been thrown back in my face. The fact that I have had an ex before them is like, grow up and get over it. And the funniest part of it is usually they've had like multiple sexual partners, like loads. And it's like, wait, so why are you mad at me for something that happened when I didn't know you existed? I didn't know you were a thing. I never understand that dynamic. I don't get it. So, down in the comments, Unicorn, if he keeps it up, he'll be single again, yes. And then Fun Influence 3397 says, and discover that him being unable to have a threesome had nothing to do with his wife anyway. He literally already tried and is still blaming her. And then Akari Kuzu says, it's bad enough he's disappointing one woman. Why does he have to drag a second one in? Literally. I just feel really sad that the times when his wife needed him the most to lift her up, make her feel good again, because having a kid does knock your confidence, your body changes, things are different, nothing feels right either, especially in the months afterwards. Like, your body feels weird, your stomach feels weird, everything feels weird. And instead of concentrating on lifting her up and making her feel secure, he's there going, can we add someone else to the relationship? Can we bring someone else in the bedroom? I can't imagine how much that knocked that poor woman's confidence. I feel so bad for her. I think women are under so much pressure to be perfect, and that's just not the case. Stretch marks happen, weight fluctuations happen, you lose weight, so your skin feels different and things like that, and it's all normal, but you're made to feel like you're grotesque because of it, And like, then to have somebody essentially make you feel like you're not enough and that they need to add someone else, that's like so detrimental to the relationship dynamics, to the wife's mental health. Like, it's just, it's so icky. It's so icky. And then he'll be the one standing there when she asks for a divorce going, I have no idea what happened. I can't imagine. Clearly she's just a bitch. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, mate, come on. You can't be that dumb. Like, honestly, I feel so sad for the wife, bless her. She needs some support. She needs someone in her corner because this dude is not in her corner. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to leave it today. If you listened all the way to the end, I appreciate you very, very much. It's so warm here. Oh my goodness, it's so warm here. And listen to my water. Wait there, listen to my water. Can't drink it yet because it was in the bottom of the fridge and I'd accidentally whacked the fridge up too high and it's frozen my water. Just spring water you buy because the water around here tastes disgusting from the taps. I'm in a hard water area, so it just tastes really like metallic-y to me. So I get spring water in these big bottles. So yeah, because it's been on its side as well. It's like frozen in the shape of half of a water bottle. and it won't melt. Which is really annoying because I feel like it should have melted by now, because I'm telling you now, it's flipping boiling. We're gearing up for a heat wave apparently. Honestly, I'm right moaning old bag today, and I. But yeah, thank you if you listened all the way to the end with me. If you give a little like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, I would appreciate that very much. And that's your initiation into the cult of void. Anyway, whatever it is you're doing for the rest of the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.